Hello gamers, this week I'm back with something a little bit different. This last weekend I spent at the Midwest Gaming Classic 2015. First time I've been there, first gaming convention I've ever been to, and if you weren't fortunate enough to make it there, I've got some video here of the show. Take a look. So yeah, a ton of stuff going on, more than I could ever get into film, but those are just kind of like a brief overview of the show. It was very, very cool. I got to run into some other YouTubers. I spoke with Mo from Midwest Retro Gamers, Greg from Arcade Impossible, Scott, Grimsy42. I also spoke with Retro Shinobi and his dad. Everybody was super cool, super cool to talk to. I was glad to meet a lot of those people. And just meeting everybody there at the show, everybody was really easygoing, and it's fun to just honestly open up conversations with people who share the same passion for the same hobby you do. How often do you run across that? But everybody in one place at a show like that, it's a blast. I cannot wait to go back next year. I'll probably make it an annual thing. But on to pickups. I'm going to try and rush through these because I don't want this video to get too long. So obviously I game hunted on the way down, of course. For me it was like a 9-hour drive to get there. I stopped at a Target and in the 50% off bin I found for the Wii U, Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed. I have the first one, very, very good games, on par with the Mario Kart series as far as I'm concerned. And then another YouTuber, Video Game Experiment, was a few hours ahead of me, and he sent me a text about some games he found at a Goodwill along the way. And I went back and picked them up, and believe it or not, I found 5 GameWave games thanks to his help. So yeah, some more games for the GameWave that nobody cares about and I'll probably never play, but hey, I have them. They were $1 a piece, so really, I have the GameWave, I might as well buy them, right? And then also Video Game Experiment and I did a trade a little while ago. I gave him some games, and he decided he was nice enough to give me, I guess, a trade on his Amiibo. He has a Lucario Amiibo. I'm not a big Pokemon guy, but I have a ton of Amiibos at this point, sadly. I keep getting them. So Lucario, it's a really good one to get, so I was happy to get that. Not easy to find. Moving on to the show. So Midwest Gaming Classics, pickups. Start with the less impressive, less exciting stuff as far as I'm concerned anyway. First, Normies Beach Babel-rama for the Genesis. It was loose, it was cheap, and the title sounded interesting. I also found in the bargain bin, the last day of the show, this super controller attachment. It's made by Bandai. It basically just clasps on around your NES controller, gives you a weird circle pad. I don't think it's actually going to do much, but it was kind of cool. And for the Dreamcast, I found NFL Quarterback Club 2000, bargain bin again, and World Series Baseball 2K1. Each of those were $1 a piece. I figured I couldn't go wrong. Moving on to NES stuff. I picked up, there was a seller there, the guy who actually made this game, I believe, Armed for Battle. It's a homebrew NES game. It's a real-time strategy game. Very, very ambitious, both for the NES and the fact that it's a homebrew. Really cool. It's going to take me some time to get into, of course. It's a little more in-depth than most NES games, but I'm really looking forward to it. I got to play a demo of it. Was really impressed. And if you're looking to buy this game, because I'd seen this in some videos last year from some other YouTubers, but I didn't know how to get it, I will leave the details in my description for this video, so check that out. Very cool. So moving on to the NES stuff. I had one game that I had set out to buy at Midwest Gaming Classic. If I saw it at a decent price, I was just going to pull the trigger. Been waiting forever. Completes another trilogy for me. This is Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. I love this game. My favorite Turtles game on the NES. Has the same basic setup as Turtles 2, the arcade, but it's an all-original story. Love it. And then I bought some unlicensed games, so some Camerica games. MiG-29 Soviet Fighter. B-52. Afterburner, Tengen game. And I was really pumped to find an Aladdin deck enhancer with Dizzy the Adventurer. And yeah, if you're not familiar, Deck Enhancer is a separate piece. Dizzy is a game that fits into that, and when you combine the two, you get to play them on your NES. Really cool. Not common to find, not overly expensive, just neat to have. Moving on from there, I decided to, again, my focus on the Midwest Gaming Classic was to buy games for systems that I probably couldn't find out in the wild day to day. So I got some Jaguar games. I picked up Hover Strike. Zool 2, this is a platformer. And then, from what I understand at least, it's the showpiece to the Jaguar, the disc, non-disc games anyway. Iron Soldier kind of shows off what the Jaguar was possibly capable of if it hadn't died horribly. So those were cool to get. And my system that I really wanted to pick up games for at MGC was the TurboGrafx 16. I knew I wouldn't find games for these in the wild in my local area, so I made a mission to pick up at least a few of them, and I got more than I was expecting, at decent prices, of course. Actually, everything at the Midwest Gaming Classic was decent prices. Vendors, for the most part, were very, very reasonable. Very impressed. Victory Run, I got loose. Crater Maze, loose again. And then going into my cased games, I got Battle Royale. Final Lap Twin. And my favorite pickup for the TurboGrafx, probably the whole show, Legendary Axe. Can't wait to get into that one. Also, there was a vendor there that was selling all import stuff, and he had a lot of Famicom Disk System. Famicom, if you're not familiar, is the Japanese Nintendo. There's a disc add-on that was separate, and I'd never see them. I've never actually seen one in the wild before, but I found Golf. Yeah, for the Famicom Disk System. I bought it. I'm never going to play this. I don't have a Famicom Disk System. I just thought it was a really cool showpiece because it's got Mario on it. Also, if you've seen the Famicom discs, they're usually yellow. This one is blue, which I thought was also neat. They're kind of like a 3.5-inch floppy drive, or 3 1/4, whatever the standard size was in the US. Just kind of neat. It's going to be a showpiece. Just thought it was really cool. And that was going to be the end of my pickups. And then the end of the show, there's a box in the hallway of the hotel that said free box. Take what you want, basically. And in there were two boxes for the 5200, Atari 5200 controller. One of them's even got the instruction manual. It's really cool. They're empty, but neat display pieces. I couldn't just leave them there. I thought I would grab them. And yeah, that's it. That was my haul from MGC. I feel like I got some really cool games that I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. and I just had a blast hanging out with other YouTubers, just talking to people in general. It was so much fun. If you haven't been there or another gaming convention and you're into retro games, I highly recommend it. I cannot wait to go back. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. I'll talk to y'all next time.